Good evening, you're watching No Spin. I'm Nidhi Razdan. In its second round of searches by the Enforcement Directorate today, ED officials claim to have found more cash from an apartment in a Kolkata suburb belonging to Arpita Mukherjee, close friend of senior Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee. This is in connection with the teachers' recruitment scam in which the ED has already arrested Mr. Partha Chatterjee last week. Last week, in fact, the ED claimed to have found 20 crores in cash at Arpita's home and released photos and videos of huge piles of money. Partha Chatterjee's arrest is a huge setback to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Once her close aide, Mamata has now virtually abandoned him, though she is staying firm on attacking the BJP for what she calls the misuse of central agencies against the opposition. But at a time when Mamata Banerjee is also seeking to create a leadership role for herself with other opposition parties, is this a setback in those efforts for her as well? Joining us first on the program tonight, Mr. Dilip Ghosh, Member of Parliament from West Bengal, also Sugato Roy, Member of Parliament from the TMC. Thank you to you both for joining us. Mr. Dilip Ghosh, to you first. The ED, of course, claiming that again huge piles of cash have been found at Arpita Mukherjee's home. How much of a setback do you see this for Mamata Banerjee, and also the fact that she's distancing herself from Partha Chatterjee? Is that really playing out on the ground? Is that being sensed on the ground?
देखिए, घटना जितना आगे बढ़ रहा है, ममता बनर्जी की टोन चेंज हो रही है। पहले लोग ईडी सीबीआई को धमकी दे रहे थे, दिल्ली तक घेराव करने की बात कर रहे थे, फिर जैसा पूछताछ हुआ और करोड़ों का रुपया मिला तो ममता बनर्जी की अब स्टैंड भी चेंज हो रही कि बोले जल्दी इसको सुनवाई करके आजीवन कारावास दे दिए, ये सजेशन दे रहे हैं। लेकिन अर्पिता मुखर्जी और पार्थो बाबू अरेस्ट होने के बाद और उनके हाथ से जो जो एविडेंस आया है, मोबाइल फ़ोन्स, पेपर, डायरी, उसमें से जो जो सुराग मिल रहा है उसका ऊपर कार्रवाई करते हुए नए नए जगह में छापामारी हो रही है। हम लोग पहले से बोल रहे थे कि ये सैकड़ों करोड़ का घोटाला है, छोटा मोटा नहीं है, और खाली एक व्यक्ति नहीं, कई व्यक्ति इसमें इन्वॉल्व है। पूरा वेस्ट बंगाल से रुपया उठाया गया है, पार्टी को भी मिला है, मिनिस्टर को मिला है, नेता लोगों को भी मिला है, ऑफिसर को भी मिला है। उनका जो उस समय का एसएससी का चेयरमैन थे मानिक बाबू को भी पूछताछ हो रही है। तो सब मिला करके एक बंगाल का जो बहुत बड़ा स्काम बहुत साल से चल रहा है, सामान्य जन भी जानता था। हम लोग बार बार इसका लेकर आंदोलन भी किए, लेकिन कुछ नहीं हो रहा था। अभी शुरू हुआ है, छापामारी हो रही है, नया नया डॉक्यूमेंट्स मिल रहा है, करोड़ों में रुपया मिल रहा है। मुझे लगता है कि ये मामला और आगे जाएगा और बहुत कुछ मिलने वाला है, बहुत कुछ लोग इसके साथ जुड़े हुए मिलेंगे। आप कह रहे हैं ये अभी शुरुआत ही है। प्रोफेसर सुगतो रॉय, जस्ट टू गेट यू इन ऑन दिस as a senior member of parliament of the TMC, would you concede that despite the sort of charge against the ED that it's partisan in targeting opposition leaders, and data does bear it out that the ED does target opposition leaders far more than those from the BJP, but whatever has emerged from Bengal has been disturbing, these huge piles of cash, etc. The fact that Mamata Banerjee is distancing herself from Partha Chatterjee, however, is anyone buying it? देखिए, जो सुगतो बाबू ये लोग
डायलॉग है। दिलीप जी, सुगतो जी के लिए सवाल है।
ठीक, ओके।
What is your question, Nidhi?
My question is, whether you see this as a setback to Mamata herself.
What?
The piles of cash.
No, it doesn't link. Yes, pile of cash I have seen also. What is found in today's rates. But to link this to Mamata would be very wrong. This has all been found in the flats of one Arpita Mukherjee, who is supposed to be close to Partha Chatterjee. I do not know who Arpita is, and I strongly deny that Arpita has any connection with Trinamool Congress. If she is caught with this and later her association with Partha Chatterjee is proved beyond doubt in a court, then the court can take any action and then the party will take action against Partha Chatterjee. We have said that we will have no truck with Arpita or Partha, and this money has no connection with us as Trinamool Congress. I never knew who this Arpita was. So there are things which have happened which is unfortunate, but to make everybody guilty by association would be totally wrong. We know that ED is a handle of the BJP government at the center. They use CBI and ED to cow down their political opponents. Two Maharashtra ministers were earlier arrested by ED. One up minister in Delhi, Satyendra Jain, he is still
let me ask
ED.
you. You're saying you're
Praful
completely
Patel.
denying any link between Arpita Mukherjee and Partha Chatterjee. Are you saying that they don't know each other?
I do not have any knowledge about any relation between Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee. It is to be proved. But we have no connection. The TMC party has no connection with Arpita Mukherjee. So why make us guilty by association?
I take
and
that to
why
Mr.
should
Ghosh.
respectable channel like NDTV act like a kangaroo court? Let this be proved in court. Then
We're only
whatever
asking
ED has the
questions.
maximum.
We're only asking questions, Mr. Roy, because you know it is a big political story, and Mr. Ghosh, the
It's a
TMC
big
says it.
political story.
Arpita
Let's see
Mukherjee
to
is not
show it.
part of TMC.
And
She's not
even
linked
when
to
they asked
TMC.
me, I
You're-
said I'll join.
So, Mr. Ghosh,
Yes.
are you making a sort of guilt by association, as the TMC claims?
देखिए ये जो ये लोग आज वहाँ से पल्ला झड़ना चाहते हैं, हाथ धोना चाहते हैं, वो उनका मेंबर है कि नहीं, उनका पोस्ट होल्डर है कि नहीं, ये तो अलग बात है। लेकिन कई बार पार्थ बाबू को साथ दिखा गया है, उनका दुर्गा पूजा का एम्बेसडर वो हैं, और पॉलिटिकल स्टेज में भी ममता बनर्जी के साथ इन दोनों मिले। इन दोनों का कुछ दिन पहले उन्होंने प्रशंसा की, पार्थ बाबू का और अर्पिता का। तो पार्टी में है नहीं है ये तो आगे चलेगा, क्या डॉक्यूमेंट है, लेकिन इन दोनों स्कैम में जुड़े हुए हैं और इन दोनों का संबंध है। जो 100 करोड़ से ज़्यादा प्रॉपर्टी अभी तक बरामद हुई है, सारे इलीगल प्रॉपर्टी है, ये पार्थ बाबू और अर्पिता का है। और इन दोनों, पार्थ बाबू उनके पार्टी का सेक्रेटरी जनरल है, मिनिस्टर है, और पार्टी जब से शुरू हो तब से ममता बनर्जी के साथ हैं, बहुत चाहते हैं और बहुत डिपेंडेबल है। इस परिस्थिति में वो चाह रहे हैं कि अभी तक कोई होगा तो निकाल देंगे, आज तो किसी को नहीं निकाला उन्होंने। बहुत बड़ा बड़ा स्कैम हुआ है, उनका मिनिस्टर को 1.5 साल जेल में रखा, वो रिजाइन भी नहीं करता था, अभी भी पार्थ बाबू रिजाइन नहीं किए। उनके एमपी 1.5 साल 2 साल जेल में रहे, कोई रिजाइन नहीं किया है, फिर दोबारा आज वो उनका पार्टी का पदाधिकारी है। तो ये सब मामला ओपन है, पब्लिक जानती है कौन कहाँ किसका है, कितना प्रॉपर्टी है। अभी तो शुरुआत हुआ है, ईडी जितना आगे बढ़ेगा उतना खुलासा होगा। अब उससे ये लोग बचना चाहते हैं, यहाँ भी वही नेता को और परिवार को बचाने का एक प्रयास चल रहा है मात्र।
But let me ask Shogata Roy, Mr. Roy, you know the point is that there have been serious allegations of corruption in West Bengal, not just in this case. There is the Narada scam, the Sarda scam, and now you have these allegations against Partha Chatterjee, and Partha Chatterjee is no ordinary minister. He's been such a senior minister, he continues to be a minister, a close aide of the chief minister. Therefore, I ask you that, you know, is there some cleaning up in your own backyard that needs to be done, you know, with these string of allegations in Bengal?
No, I've heard the string of allegations. There are string of allegations against Narendra Modi also, that he was seen in a photograph with Nirav Modi in Davos, that Mehul Choksi, Lalit Modi, Vijay Mallya, all of them became fugitives after defrauding the banks of crores of rupees. There have been allegations against Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, weapon scam. There has been allegations against Himanto Biswa Sharma, the Guwahati water supply scam. There is a recent allegation against Karnataka government over the recruitment of sub-inspector scam. And there you all know that Yedurappa, whom the BJP reinstated as chief minister, was arrested in a mining scam. So let us not talk of BJP being holier than thou, purer than the lily. No, any corruption that has taken place will naturally pains us. And if it has happened in the teacher recruitment scam, I would like the investigations to be completed quickly and the guilty punished so that we can also take action against them. The Sharada scam is hanging fire for 10 years. Nobody has been convicted as yet. So these things that ED starts going beyond its powers, this is not right.
All right,
This is not right, and this ED has become the main handle of BJP to silence their political opponents.
Let me get
I am not defending the indefensible, and I will not do so. All I say that Dilip Babu, I could not follow him because he is speaking in Hindi. I thought this is an English channel. Dilip Babu continued to speak in Hindi. I could not follow. I don't understand Hindi so well. But whatever he said that it's a big scam, I am saying that.
Okay, you're saying don't selectively look at the TMC, but the fact is, whataboutery doesn't take away from the fact that there are serious allegations in Bengal as well. Dilip Ghoshji, thank you for joining us. I know you have to go, but I'd like to take this to Meeta Chakravarti, who's a political analyst, has been a Congress candidate in the Lok Sabha elections and joins us as well. Meeta Chakravarti, how is this playing out in Bengal itself, the Partha Chatterjee's arrest?
Okay, good evening to all your viewers on a couple of very quick points. First of all, as you correctly pointed out, Partha Chatterjee is just not another TMC leader. Partha Chatterjee has been the face of TMC. He is known to be organizationally very strong person. He was the go-to person for Mamata Banerjee for years. So to say that it's going to be very, very difficult for the TMC government to disassociate itself. Secondly, we have seen in the past, for the past 8 to 10 years, we are seeing ongoing investigations happening for the Naroda and Sharoda scam, for example. Now, justice delayed is justice denied. So what is very, very important here is that we have this investigation happening in a timely manner. There are many people who have suffered because of this teacher recruitment scam, and the guilty is actually booked. And it should not
that's true, actually, absolutely, of all investigations.
And just one very quick point.
I'm just interrupting for a brief second because the pictures that we've got on our screens are again pictures released by the ED this evening, apparently of another round of cash seized from Arpita Mukherjee's home. And this is what they claim has been seized. So this is the ED's claim, and again, you know, you can see the big photo op with the big piles of cash. But my colleague Monideepa Banerjee is with us as well. She's of course a veteran journalist.
Just a very quick point.
Meeta, just give me a second. Monideepa Banerjee, the bigger point here is in terms of the larger national role that Mamata Banerjee also sees for herself, leading the opposition. Given that she kind of snubbed the opposition on the vice presidential elections, and then this happened with Partha Chatterjee. Has she, taken a bit of a hit on that front?
Well, yeah, I think that's a very interesting point, and especially because of the sequence of events that we have seen, before the raids were launched on Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee. We saw the presidential election, the debate, the kind of unease that erupted over the fact that Mamata Banerjee went and said that, if he had known that Madam Draupadi was going to be the presidential candidate for the BJP, maybe we could have rethought our strategy. That was one. And then the next thing you had is the vice president election. On 21st of July, you had Mamata Banerjee's huge rally in Kolkata. And the day after that, you have this event, unfolding. So given that, certainly there are, strange questions that will come up. Mamata Banerjee, is she going to be able to take the pole position in, leading the opposition against the BJP in 2024? That's a question that's going to come up. The other issue, of course, is that the ED is snapping at the heels of Partha Chatterjee and who knows who else in the Trinamool Congress, but we are also aware of the tension between the Trinamool Congress and the Congress over the fact that Sonia Gandhi is going repeatedly to, the Enforcement Department office, and there has been this tussle between Trinamool Congress, mostly from Trinamool Congress, which says that, when Sonia Gandhi goes, the Congress protests, but when their own Abhishek Banerjee goes to ED, there is no protest.
Yeah, as they said, it needs to be a two-way street. Tarun Jyoti Tiwari is the Vice President of the West Bengal BJP and co-in charge of their Legal Affairs Department there. And, Mr. Tiwari, does Saugata Roy have a point that ultimately, the charges of corruption cannot be selective, and that if agencies are only seen to be acting against opposition parties, rightly or wrongly, and maybe rightly in this case, until they act fairly against those, from the BJP also, who've been otherwise named in scams in the past and see those cases go cold, these charges don't really have the kind of credibility.
Nidhi, first let the facts get corrected. Right now, Saugata just said, I don't know who is Arpita. Party doesn't have any connection with her. But right now in Bengal, all Bengali media is showing the particular interview of the particular owners of other flats in that area. Then they are saying that Saugata Roy used to come to this flat. So now Saugata Roy is saying national media, no, I don't know her. It's absolutely false. Second statement. You know that TET 2012, TET 2014, TET 17, SSC, SLST.
Sorry,
9
are you
11,
saying Mr. Saugata Roy knows Arpita Mukherjee, or are you?
Yes.
Or are you talking about Partha Chatterjee?
Who am I to say? Yes, I am saying that. Because the other flat owners are saying Saugata Roy used to visit that particular flat. Other flat owners are saying, and I know this truth will come out.
Let me let Mr. Roy respond to that.
Second point,
One second, Mr. Tiwari, since you've made that allegation, let him respond.
My sentence first.
No, I know, but I'll come back to you. Since you made this very specific allegation, Mr. Roy, do you want to sort of take that on?
Yes, I want to respond to that. I don't know who this man is. He is neither MLA nor a MP nor a councillor. He has no importance anywhere. And if anybody can prove that I have ever gone to a flat where money was discovered, I'll give up politics apart from my MPship. If anybody can prove that I have any flat anywhere in Bengal or even a plot of land anywhere in Bengal, I'll give up politics. This is my challenge. This infantile BJP wallahs, they are experts in spreading canards. Saugata Roy challenges all BJP wallahs to prove that, and who is the person who has said that Saugata Roy is to come to this flat? If he can prove that, that person can prove, I shall give up politics, but otherwise I'll hit that person with two slippers. There must be a limit to this third class infant. Why do you put such people who are neither councillors nor MLAs nor MPs on your channel? Yours is a respected channel. Where do you bring these people from?
Mr. Roy, the panelist has been assigned by the West Bengal media cell of the BJP. So let's not sort of this thing, but I did give you a chance to respond to the.
Why?
And Mr. Tiwari, if you have evidence,
Yes,
please.
I have.
No, sure,
Yes,
but
I have.
I think refrain from making personal allegations unless it is backed up with
I'm not making
solid evidence. That's all my request is.
Let me. Mr. Roy has just said who this man is. He is not MLA, not MP. Yes, I am not MLA, I am not MP. I am a common man. And who has seen Saugata Roy taking money from a particular person in a video, and after taking the money, he is saying, what's your name? He doesn't. He is taking money from anyone. Narada sting operation, we can all remember. Now let me come to the second point. All these investigations are going on as per the order of the court. All this investigation, there are 5 cases have been registered by the court. Court appointed a judicial committee that's named as BAC committee. BAC committee found there are irregularities, there is scam, and as per that report, investigation was given to CBI. When CBI was investigating, CBI found there is huge transaction of financial transaction. Then court order to see the CBI, they please look into the financial issues too. After that, ED came into force and ED found all these things. Now they are disowning Arpita Mukherjee, but we have seen in a particular program, Mamata Banerjee was asking Arpita Mukherjee in Odia, Kamoti Achonti. That means, how are you? And we have seen Mamata Banerjee asking, oh, you are friend of Partha. You generally go to, you visit Bobby too. Then after that, we have seen Arpita Mukherjee in several election campaign of TMC. Now
Okay, so
they are disowning the...
you're saying they can't deny the
Yes,
links.
yes, and another point.
Okay, once again, Mr. Tiwari, let me just get Saira Halim. She's a writer, activist, and has also fought elections for the CPM in the past as an MLA candidate. Saira Halim, what does this mean for opposition unity? I mean, does this further, create further cracks in this entire scam?
See, I'll tell you what, this is a very tragic thing to happen in a state where youth are looking for jobs, and here this is a teacher recruitment scam. Okay, so clearly the people who were supposed to be getting the jobs, they haven't got those jobs. And this amassed money, it is quite clear now, it is in the public domain, where the amassed money was, where and who started the scam. But let me also iterate you, it's just not one person alone, because only a person alone cannot run such a huge scam which has been there, and it means it must be an ongoing process for quite some time. So there are a lot of other people involved. Now, who those people are, that needs to be investigated by the various law enforcement agencies, because this is not just about Mr. Chatterjee or about Arpita. It is again a nexus. So now it all depends on how fast and how ethically the law enforcement agency works. And I think that it is not a matter of political victimization as well. It's not a political slug fight. I think here there's a corruption charge. It's a very, very big corruption charge. And Trinamool Congress, of course, has disassociated itself with this particular person. But disassociating itself is not enough, because here people, the youth's job is on the brink. People have not been recruited, or rather some of them have been recruited, as cash against jobs. So definitely there were, some shady dealings that were going on for quite some time. And irrespective of the political party, I think whoever, they need to take ownership of whatever is happening, whether it is whichever party. And more so, it's a political party that has been.
Let me just get back to Monideepa Banerjee on this point, because Monideepa Banerjee, again, I come to this issue of the national opposition. Other leaders do have something that they take back to voters in the opposition. For example, the AAP with its Delhi model of governance, now that's moved on to Punjab, etc. In Mamata Banerjee's case, there really isn't an equivalent, is there? And then when you have allegations of corruption that sort of make the headlines against your government repeatedly, how much of a setback does that become for those national ambitions?
Well, in West Bengal, we have seen the Sharda scam, the Narda scam over the last 10 years. And, Mamata Banerjee has got away with the reports about these scams involving her ministers, MLAs, MPs, completely like as if she was, had a Teflon cover. Nothing happened. 2016, I remember the Narda scam unfolded just ahead of the assembly elections, but she won with bigger numbers. 2021 was, of course, very, very different. So in West Bengal itself, somehow Mamata Banerjee completely Teflon coated. But on the national scene, when you have her, on stage defending herself, distancing herself from this, these very disturbing pictures of mounds of money, cash, hard cash lying around from pictures of Arpita, pictures of Partha Chatterjee surfacing, the kind of memes that are going around. So given that, it's going to be really difficult. It will be a challenge for her to continue, as I said, in the pole position of opposition unity at the central level. There will be finger pointing. There will be questions raised. I mean, already locally, we have the CPM and the Congress on the streets of Kolkata protesting against what has happened. There are large protests. After a long time, we are seeing lots of these opposition parties here in Bengal on the streets. So given that, when you translate it to the national level, certainly it will be tough for her to forge ahead with the same kind of power that she was going ahead with.
Shugata Rai, last word to you, Shugata Rai. How would you sort of look at the analysis by Monideepa Banerjee there at the national level, the setback that this is for Mamata Banerjee herself? Because the BJP certainly, sort of tom-toms the fact that there's been no serious corruption allegation against their government. That's what they say. And then when you have the pictures of the cash being recovered here and Arpita and Partha Chatterjee and all the rest of it, what does that mean for Mamata's national ambitions?
No, it doesn't mean much to national ambition. You must remember that the parliament elections are still 2 years away. So, as Harold Wilson used to say, a week is a long time in politics. So, nothing will happen just now. Mamata Banerjee is interested in forging opposition unity. She made some efforts. And in these processes where you deal with a number of parties, there are always ups and downs, but she will persist this. Yes, the discovery of cash in whoever that woman was in her house is a little bit of shocking to the people at large, but this has nothing to do with politics. Manideepa would also, she is a very experienced journalist, would also acknowledge that there is no opposition to TMC in West Bengal. CPM got 0 seats in the assembly. Congress got 0 seats in the assembly. BJP, after saying that agle baar 200 par they'll get more than 200, they got only
like
77 and now their seats are reduced to 70. So Bengal is firmly behind Mamata. We shall make efforts to extend TMC and opposition unity.
Well, let us see how it plays out. Let us see how it plays out. I'm completely out of time. I'm completely out of time for the moment. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us. It is a very serious allegation that the West Bengal government is facing. How will this impact Mamata Banerjee and certainly the opposition at the national level as well? Thanks for joining us.